today's class will be a really nice balance of moving the body, getting a little bit of energy and refocus, and at the same time stretching out the body so that you feel refreshed. And we'll do what is known in the yoga world as a yin-yang class. So the first half will be a little bit of that heat building, which is going to be really nice if you're feeling sore or a lot of tension. Just get some heat flushing in those areas. And then the second half will be really chill, and we'll hold poses a little bit longer so you can just kind of zen out and keep it comfy. So start either on your back or seated. Let your eyes close. And recognize the quality of your thoughts, the quality of your breath, even what you observe physically in your body. And some days we'll land on our mat to stretch and move, and we won't really want to be here mentally. We'll be wanting to be in a billion other different places. Our heads will be stuck in the past or looking ahead into the future. And so really carving out this time allows you to land back in the present moment, to remind yourself what you're working towards, what's important in this moment, what you can be grateful for that's progressing you in a direction. And at the same time, calm the nervous system and refocus. So feel a full inhale and a full exhale. A couple more rounds just like that, filling all the way up and back out. Good. And open the eyes. If you're seated, come to meet me laying down on the back. If you're already on the back, we'll start with the knees bent, feet flat. Heel toe the feet a bit wider towards the edges of your mat, and let the legs fall towards the right. Hold it there. Big breath in. Exhale back to center. Let the legs fall to the left. Full breath in. And back to center. Good. This time we'll add on arms, so I want you to bend the elbows and let the forearms rest down on your mat. Palms are facing up towards the ceiling. What we call cactus style arms. You should right away feel a bit of sensation through the shoulders, tops of the arms, even under the arms. Try and relax here. Let the shoulders feel heavy. Let the knees fall to the right. Big breath in. And back to center. Over to your left. Big breath in. And back to center. Good, let's do that one more time, a little more fluidly this time. So inhaling one side and exhale to the other. Back to center, hug the knees in towards your chest. Good, and then bend the knees at about 90 degrees, maybe 70, not have to be too picky. Flex the feet. You're gonna reach the right arm all the way up overhead as if it could touch the wall behind you. And then straighten your left leg out long, so it's kind of like dead bug. Good, hover the left heel above the earth. Engage the core. And bring it back in, switch it up. Left arm extends all the way out behind you. Right leg extends out, hover the heel. And back to center. Good, couple more times. Reaching out, alternate leg to alternate arm. Trying to get the heel and the fingers as low to the ground as you can. Core still engaged, you're not flaring the ribs too much. You just have a natural curve through the back of the spine, not a big arch. Once more, right side to left side. And center. Really nice job. Plant the feet to the earth, plant the arms down by your side. And lift the hips high to the sky, bridge pose, really squeeze through the glutes, lift your hips. Breathe in. Lift the heels and roll it down. Good, again, twice more. Inhale, lift the hips high. Keep the inner thighs engaged, you're not letting the knees split open. Lift your heels, roll it down. Last time, lift the hips high. Lift the heels, roll it down. Really nice job. Knees into chest, you can rock and roll forward and back until you come all the way up to seated. We'll do a couple things here. Sitting up nice and tall. We'll focus on head, neck, and wrists. So I want you to drop the head to the right. Feel free to close your eyes, just follow my voice. Roll your chin down your chest, all the way over to the opposite side. And repeat. Over to left. Over to right. Good. This time you roll your head over to the right. Start to look up towards the sky. Back down, round the head over to the opposite side. Same thing here. Turn the nose upwards. Back down to center and neutral. Good. Shoulders, shrug them all the way up to the ears. And not too aggressively, just let them drop down. And again, shoulders all the way up to your ears. You don't need to be too aggressive, just let them fall. Once more. And drop. Good. Wrist stuff. So in yoga, we spend a lot of time on the hands and the wrists occasionally. And if you haven't built up that wrist strength, it can cause a bit of strain. So it's always nice to give them a little bit of extra attention until you've built up the strength there. So start with the left hand. Just roll the wrist out 3 times one way, 3 times the other. Good. And then make a fist with the hand. You're going to curl that fist inwards towards you. Feel it stretch across the top of the wrist, even a little bit down the forearm. And then you'll release the hand, spread the fingers wide. Good. And again, make a fist, curl it in towards you. And release the hand, spread the fingers. Good. Flip the palm, stretch it right out in front of you. And just rotate the hand forward and back. Kind of like opening a jar, that similar motion. And I want you to try and keep it only through the wrist and the forearms. The shoulder's not really moving at all. It's all happening from the elbow down, basically. Good, and then flip the hand, think like thriller hands, press down. You can use the opposite hand to draw those fingers towards you. And release, perfect. Opposite one. Start with rolling the wrist out a couple times one way, a couple times the other. Make a fist. Curl it in towards you, hold it for a second, release and spread the fingers. And again. And spread the fingers. Once more. Spread the fingers. Reach the hand out, flex the hands, fingers are back. And again, nothing happening through the shoulder. Rock the hand side to side. Good. And then flip the hand, think like thriller hands. Use the opposite to help draw those fingers and feel that stretch. And release. Good job. Interlace hands behind you. Puff your chest up towards the ceiling. Sit up really tall. Gaze lifts. And release the hands. Just draw the hands to the front of the knees. Round through the spine. Hollow out your belly. Almost like you're being punched in the gut. It's that kind of action to help round through the spine. Shoulder blades are spreading across the back of the body. And then with the breath, inhale, float forward. You can either keep the hands on the knees, or if it just helps accentuate this movement, you can interlace behind you. Big breath in, puff your chest, breathe in. Exhale, round, tuck your chin. And again, puff the chest, big breath in. Exhale, round forward. Good. Sit up tall. Switch the legs that you have crossed, so the ones that probably feel a little bit odd because they're not your dominant position when you're seated. And you're just gonna bear crawl the hands out in front of you as far out as you can comfortably, and then let the head drop down, shoulders drop down. You might even be able to rest the forearms all the way down on the mat. Imagine the tailbone lengthening all the way up through the spine, all the way up to the crown of your head, getting long so you can reach out. Keep the sit bones rooted down to the mat. Hold it here, but keep breathing. So always coming back to this anchored breath. Try and soften where you can, the space between the eyebrows, the jaw. Let the breath assist you in this, so never holding our breath. And then roll yourself up. Good. Flip around onto hands and knees. Let's get a little bit of heat moving through the body. So start with the tabletop, plant the palms, flip the toes behind you, joints stacked over joints, and hover the knees above the earth. Hold it here. Try and keep those knees low, core is engaged, low back's protected. Holding for 3, 2, 1. Hike the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Good. Get high on your heels, bend your knees deeply, sink back, and straighten all the way up. Bend your knees, sink down, straighten up. One more time. This time you're going to use this as a springboard to hop or walk to the front of your mat, finding forward fold. So feet are about a hip's distance apart. Let yourself hang forward. Lift up halfway. And drop back down. Again, lift up halfway. Drop back down. Roll up to stand, big reach towards the ceiling. Collect hands down to your heart center. Look down, make sure the feet are about a hip's distance apart. Toes are forward. We'll find chair pose. So you can either keep hands at the heart. I usually just kind of crisscross my hands, crisscross the palms. Elbows are soft, shoulders are down, bend your knees, sink. Good. Notice the weight, more weight through the heels. The toes are just there to help grip and even out the balance, the footing. Make sure you can see all 10 toes, but not the shoelaces of your feet. Can you sink an inch lower? Good, and then twist towards your right. Back to center. Not a huge twist, it's pretty small. Twist towards the left. Center, and notice here, keep moving through your twist, that the hips are square and they're not moving. So this twist is happening from my rib cage up. Legs are steady and strong. That can be a bit of a challenge, so something to build some body awareness around. Once more, right to left. Let it go, forward fold. Really good job. Lifting up halfway, so you have a long spine. Bend your knees, plant your palms, step back to plank. Tricep push-up, so you want to keep the elbows hugging into your rib cage as you lower all the way down. Flip the toes behind you, lengthen the legs out. Tail the chest up halfway, so just coming up to the top of that rib cage bone. Shoulders are back, elbows tucked in tight. Soften down. Let's do that again. Peel up. And down. One more time. Lift up. Don't crane the back of the neck, so your gaze isn't going to be forward. It's just going to be on the floor in front of you. And down. Flip your toes, downward facing dog, send hips up and back. And let's pedal out the feet here. So press into one heel, press into the other, trying to chest through. Reach your right leg all the way up. Bend your knee, open your hip towards the ceiling. Even weight through both arms, so you're going to notice how you might want to dump more to the left. Try and even it out. And then knee to chest, step your foot through between your hands. Keep the back heel lifted. And come all the way up to a high lunge. You have train tracks for legs. When I say that, I mean that you're not in a tightrope. You're instead 2 laneways. Legs are in line with the hips. Sink into the front knee. Hands can come to the hips, or they can reach up. This is your choice. Good. Right hand to your hip. Left arm up towards the ceiling if it's not already there, and side bend over towards the right. This is going to challenge your balance a little bit, so really grip your feet into the earth. Come back through the center, hands to heart. Remember, you can always do that crisscross of palms instead, and twist towards your right. Same thing here. It's really going to challenge your balance, your center line of gravity. Back through. One more challenge in your high lunge. Interlace hands behind you. Draw the knuckles down towards the earth. Lift your chest up. Breathe in. And on your exhale, you'll hinge forward into humble warrior. So you might only be able to go halfway. You might be able to rest all the way down. So the knee finds a space between the neck and the shoulder. Drop the head. You've got this. Steady breath in. Steady breath out. Engage the core. Engage the legs as you lift your torso back up, arms sweep high. Plant the palms to the earth. Step back to plank. Lower down halfway. Press back up. Good, twice more, just halfway. Keep those elbows tucked in tight. Lift up. Halfway. And then this time, lower all the way down. Flip your toes, peel your chest up halfway. And then working towards upward dogs, you'll peel your whole torso up. Shine the chest through. Space between ears and shoulders, and working to hover the knees and hips off the earth. Flip the toes, downward facing dog. Good work. Come back. Notice quality of your thoughts. Notice if you maybe find yourself primarily focused in the past or the future. Just becoming aware, no judgment. Left leg reaches high to the sky. Bend your knee, open your hip. Even way through the arm bones. Hold it here. Can you press a little more weight to that back leg? Knee to chest. Step the foot through. Crescent lunge. And again, remember those train tracks, not a tightrope for the feet. Lift the torso up. Establish a strong foundation. Hands to hips or to the sky. Front knee is bent. Even the back leg, notice if you're being a bit lazy and dropping the back heel, keep it high. That brings awareness and strength all the way up through the back leg. Good, left hand on your hip, right arm to the sky. Let's find that side bend. Reach over. Lean into any challenge that comes up. Use your focus. Come back to center, hands to the chest, twist towards your left. Think about winding, like winding out a rag, wringing it out. Back to center, humble warrior. This time grab it alternate grasp, so the opposite grasp behind you, the one that feels maybe a little bit odd. Shoulders back, puff the chest, deepen the breath in. Exhale, hinge forward, humble warrior. Remember, just go as far as you feel you need to today. If you can find the full expression, go for it. If you do find the full expression, you can relax the head and neck down instead of keeping it up. You'll know if the full expression is available to you if A, you can land there, but B, the quality of your breath. If the breath is really stagnant, you're holding your breath, then you're going too far. If the breath still feels fluid, if you can still talk like me, then you know that you're okay. Go ahead and engage the core, legs engaged, lift yourself up, arms sweep high. Pivot open into our warrior two. Good, we're adding on now. Couple pointers to remember about warrior two as you're taking up space on your mat. So a shorter stance is actually more difficult here. I really encourage you to take up space. Sink into the front knee, left toes are forward. Right toes face the side, the long edge of your mat. Press into the back pinky toe edge of your foot. Arms sweep out. And then your gaze is going to go towards the front fingertips. Relax your shoulders. Notice your breath. Just simply observe. An inhale. And an exhale. Flip your palms. Exalt your warrior, reach it back. Come forward, straighten your front knee. We're gonna move into triangle. So both the knees are straight, but you're not locking them out. There's still a micro bend in the knees. Hinge forward, so you're shortening the space in your front hip. You're almost sticking your back butt out. Reach, 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 reach. And then drop the back arm down, drop the front arm down. And you have two options here. So what's most important is chest is open, shoulders are stacked. I don't care if you can touch the mat or not. This is most important. Shoulders stacked, chest open, strengthen the legs. Second step, you can just take the hand behind your hip so that helps your shoulders stay open. Next option is to reach the top arm high. Gaze is supposed to be up, thumb will be over your chin. which is a little bit picky, but just gives you an extra note for proper alignment. Here you might notice if you have extra space to drop down, kind of glide the left hand further down towards the ankle, breathing steady. Inhale, lift up. Straighten the front knee, turn all 10 toes. Hinge all the way down, wide leg forward fold. Once you get here, just give the head a little bit of a shake. Bit of a bend in those knees, let the upper body hang forward, no effort at all. And just gently rock weight forward and back between your toes and your heels. You might even be able to rock all the way back into the heels so the toes can lift off the earth. And same thing, rock all the way forward into the balls of the feet so that the toes grip the earth, the heels can hover just like a tiny, tiny bit. Keep breathing steady. One more round of breath. Bend your knees a lot. Ragdoll yourself up to standing. And we'll do warrior two on the right. So you'll take your right toes, turn them towards the top corner of your mat, sink into the front knee. Your stance is already going to be wide because you just did wide leg forward fold, but perhaps if it got too wide, just heel to the back foot in a tiny bit. Sink down, arms sweep out in line with the shoulders, gaze towards the right fingertips this time. Notice that the breath feels different now. Maybe you're feeling a little fatigued. That's okay. Flip the palms, reach back, exalt your warrior. Reach, reach, reach. Come up, let's break down triangle again, so straighten your front knee. Don't lock those knees out. Hinge forward, so shorten the stance here. Stick the back bum out. Hinge forward, right arm draws down the leg. Shoulders are stacked, chest is open. Decide if the back arm is behind you or if it's lifting all the way up. There's a lot of core strength here. Try and soften the shoulders. Thumbs above the chin if the arm's lifted. Breathing in. Breathing out. Bend your knee, lift yourself up. Cartwheel, hands all the way down to your mat. Step back to plank. Tricep push up with control. Peeling upward dog. Chest back. And down dog. Pedal out the feet. Or find stillness. This is your choice. Get high on your heels, bend your knees deeply, walk or hop to the front of your mat. Lift up halfway, and let it go. Again, lift up halfway, let it go. Roll up to stand, sweep the arms high to the sky, and all the way down, shake the arms out, shake the legs out. Mountain pose to the top of your mat. Feet about a hip's distance apart or slightly wider. Palms together. Shoulders back. Let's sit back in chair pose. Sink down. Keep that core engaged, length through the torso. Hold it here. Good. Let's play with our twisted chair variation. So again, I want you to feel sturdy from the hips down. There's nothing moving there. You'll notice that we have a bad habit when we're not thinking, that when you twist, one knee's gonna try and surpass the other, and that gives the body the idea that it's twisting deeper, but you're really not. You're just straining the low back and straining other areas and compensating where you don't want to. So when you twist, take a quick peek, make sure those knees aren't surpassing one another. And also notice one more thing. is that your hands might want to slide across towards the shoulder, which gives the body the illusion that you're twisting deeper than you are. Keep those hands right at the sternum, okay? So twist towards your right, twist, twist, twist. Stay steady. Check the hands, notice the knees. Back through the center, over to your left. You have got this. And center. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, let it all go. Forward fold. Halfway lift. And soften. Roll up to stand again. Big reach up. Hands down by your side. Shake it out. Good. We're going to add on. We'll start in our chair. We're going to go from a twisted lunge, twisted chair into a twisted lunge. So you're really going to have to hold the integrity of your twist through your spine so that the legs can then change their footing. So start at the front of your mat. Start in your chair. Sink down. We'll do left side first. So gently twist towards your left. Good. Root down through the left foot so the right leg, stay in your twist, can step back. Far, far, far. Crescent lunge twist, high lunge twist, but you're here. Good. See if now with different legs in these lunge state of the legs, if you can wind the twist just a tiny bit more. Good. And then you're leaning forward. Can you now lengthen up through the torso? Extend the arms out long like a wingspan. Beautiful job. Take the left hand down to the back of your hamstring or just the back of your hip. Right arm to the sky, reverse exalted. Unwind to center. Hands just at your hips. Take the back foot, step it forward and sink into chair. Hands back to the chest. Right away to the other side. Twist towards your right. Sink down an inch deeper. Real firm through the right foot. Left leg steps back. Try to move with as much control as you can. Staying in your lunge, staying in your twist. You've got this. Start to straighten up. Head over heart over pelvis. Arms extend out like a wingspan. Right hand finds the back of the hamstring or just the back of the hip. Left arm all the way up, exalted. Warrior, but our reverse variation. Come back through the center, sweep the arms high. Plant the palms to the earth. Step back to plank. Lower down, tricep push-up. Peel the chest up, shoulders back. And downward dog. Really good job. 3 more rounds of breath here. I'm even invite you to take a wider stance with the feet. A little bit of a bend in those knees. Really shine the chest towards the shins. Let the eyes close if they're not. And soften to your knees. Let's find a child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide. Sink the hips back. Arms extend it forward. Let the chest and forehead rest down. If this doesn't feel like it's accessible, you could always use a block or a pillow to rest the forehead on. Or just come up to the elbows and forearms and try and soften the shoulders so that the chest can still lower. Come back to closing your eyes, recognizing the inner sensation of the body, where you might be gripping, where you can release. Becoming really aware of where your thoughts go by habit, even when you're in a position of discomfort or when something's not working. The better you know your mind, the more you can control those thoughts and shift them and process them so that you're in a headspace where you can accomplish what you need in any particular moment and not be too thrown off your game at any point in time. Good. Roll yourself up. Let's flip around onto the bottom. Take your left leg out long. Right sole of the foot connects in. Traditionally in this stretch, you would have your chest and your hips facing the foot that's flexed. Today, you're facing forward, hips are forward. The left leg is actually out towards the side, okay? Flex the toes up. Sit up nice and tall. Relax your shoulders. And then reach out in front of you. Again, option if you can come down to the forearms, great. If not, just hands out in front of you, arms are straight, that's fine. I want you to feel stretch through the inner thighs. Keep the foot flexed. That helps keep the knee upright and protected. Roll yourself up. Switch sides. You'll notice a difference from one side to the other. Flex the foot, sit up tall, hips, shoulders facing forward, right foot's out to the side, hinge forward. Keep the foot flexed. Roll yourself up. Good. Both legs out, and so here the goal is not to take up the most space. I want you to be able to stay lifted in your torso. So sometimes the wider the legs go, the more we start to slump forward. Be really mindful of that. Stay lifted, feet are flexed again, knees are facing up to the sky, and then just reach forward. Doesn't have to be a big, huge motion. Chest is staying lifted the whole time. I want you to feel stretched through the inner thighs. Even think about length through the low back, okay? Lead with your chest. Think about the chest lowering down towards the earth. And if you're sitting upright and you can feel it, that's totally fine. Each time that you come to do a yoga or stretching session, the body will be a bit different, just based on the season, what you're doing, how you're training, what's showing up for you. So you can't expect the same level of progression every single time you land on your mat, and to be open to what's accessible. Last breath in and out. Roll yourself up. Close the legs like a book, and we'll come all the way down onto the back. Hug your knees in towards your chest. We're going to use a prop. So plant your feet down. If you have a pillow at home, blankets, yoga blocks, anything at all that involves just a little bit of height, you're going to lift your hips up, Slide that prop, whatever you have, underneath of the tailbone or the sacrum being the triangular bone at the base of your spine. Let the pelvis rest fully on whatever you have there. It's just to help elevate the hips, finding a supported bridge pose. And this pose is great because you have a few different options based on what the body needs today. So one option is just simply stay right here. Might not feel like a lot's happening, you might not have intense sensation, and know that that's okay. That this pose is still offering lots of benefits even though you might not be feeling a ton right now. Second offering, stretch the legs out long. Same thing here, it doesn't need to be intense. This is supposed to be more restorative and relaxing, okay? Legs stretching out. Third option, and this is generally the most popular, kick the legs all the way up. Legs are still zipped together, but feet don't need to be flexed or pointed or any particular way, they're just relaxed. You want your feet just over top of the hips or so. You should feel really supported with the prop. And hands can be anywhere, resting on the body, out to the side, overhead, whatever you'd like. And committing to whichever variation of this pose, falling into a rhythm of breath. So really focusing on what an inhale feels like and an exhale. And just becoming observant of the thoughts as they pass through the mind's eye. Similar to a radio station or flipping channels on the TV, you're just becoming aware of what's on each channel, what's going on, what's passing through, but you're not fully committing to any particular channel. Just noticing. Maybe you linger on one channel for a moment or two and then move on, let it go. A few more rounds of breath. And if your legs are up, just carefully, slowly bend your knees into your chest. If they're stretched out long, start to land your feet to the earth. You can slide your bolster out or you can push it down so that it's now resting underneath of your knees. And finding our final resting pose, Shavasana. Don't skip this. Even if being still feels uncomfortable, that means you probably need it more than you think. Arms out by your side, palms up, and let yourself feel heavy. No effort. And this is where there's additional benefits, restorative benefits happening within the body. You can even allow yourself to kind of drift into this conscious but yet unconscious state, similar to when you first wake up in the morning or just before you fall asleep. And we'll stay here for about 10 rounds of breath or so, knowing that if you lose count, I will guide you back. And begin to deepen your breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. Sweep the arms up overhead. Mindful if you have props underneath the knees. Just slide legs a bit closer together. Full body stretch. Before hugging the knees into chest and rolling all the way up to seated. Thanks so much for practicing with me, and I hope it served you.